All right, y'all, to get started, we're going to go ahead and head over to canva.com. And once you're in there, we're going to go ahead and hit create a design. I'm going to go ahead down here to custom size. And I'm going to enter 13 by 19 because that is the size of the paper I'll be using. Now, before we jump into the design, I wanted to show you guys that I went over here to creativefabrica.com, and this is where I got the girl clip art that I'm going to be using. I typed in Afro girl clip art, and this is like, like all the things that pop up or whatever, and I just scrolled until I found something I like. This is actually it right here, and of course I will have the link for this in the description box where to take you here directly. Now I have a subscription. I pay like a little monthly subscription to Creative Fabrica or whatever, and you get you could download as many designs as you want. Within that subscription you get like commercial right usage, including commercial license, etc., unlimited downloads. Yeah, so I'll have my affiliate link in the description box for you guys, and you can try it out for like $1 with the link in my description box if you don't have an account. Okay, so this is where I got my girl from, and we're just going to go ahead and switch back over to Canva. And the first thing I'm going to do is hit the R on my keyboard because I want this rectangle. And this is going to be like my measurements for the tumbler, right? Now, all tumblers are not the same. So unless you get your tumblers from Heat Transfer Warehouse like I did, you'll have to measure yours, okay? But the tumblers that I'm using are 8 inches long, and they're about 9.25. Let's see if I can get. Okay, so yeah, it's about 9.25 by 8. But we'll do 9.3 by, okay, we'll just keep it at 7.9. All right, so with the 13 by 19 piece of paper, I can actually fit 2 tumbler designs on one page. So I'm going to use my squares as placeholders, and we know this is how big our design will be, right? So I'm just going to go ahead over to uploads, and I'm going to take my girl. Then I'm going to take this background that I also got from Creative Fabrica. I used this it was in a bundle. And I'll have the link for that in the description box for you as well. So this background right here, got it from creativefabrica.com. Just going to go ahead and size it to the size of my tumbler. And go ahead and take my girl, move her to the front. So I'm really not doing anything special, just, I guess you could say adding images. So since our tumbler, so our tumbler is about 9.25 around. I don't want to make my design too big, right? I don't, and this is just a personal preference. I don't want it to be so big like this, because then when you put it around the tumbler, all of this is going to be wrapped around, right? I want this design to kind of be front and center, just on one side of the tumbler. So I made it half the size, about as close as half to. So if my tumbler is 9.25, I don't want my design right here to be larger than 4, right? And when I just stretch it out, just keep it in those dimensions, my width, all right? So it won't necessarily wrap around the whole tumbler. It'll just kind of be in one section. And you guys will see more exactly what I'm talking about after we print and go ahead and put it on the tumbler. So I'm going to leave that right there, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the rectangle again because I want another box. So this is going to be just my little Starbucks tumbler, right? because you know y'all save like, I don't know, it's probably, I think it's like 15 cents off your drink at Starbucks if you bring your own cup. But you know, 15 cents add up, shoot. So, okay, so I have my rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and change the box color. Now, whenever you upload like a PNG or whatever into Canva, it'll pull the colors from that photo, right? So all the photos, all the colors from the photos are populated right here, which is great because it just makes, like when you're designing, it just makes it a little bit easier for you, right? Because you can match everything. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to take the transparency down a little bit. And let's go over here to elements, and I want this little square box right here. I could definitely make that smaller. And I want to change that black to white. All right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit the T on my keyboard to bring up my text box. And I'm just going to really type in like my order, right? I don't know about y'all, but when I go to Starbucks, I get one of the drinks I get is a caramel macchiato. And I like to add dark caramel syrup. And change the font and change the size. Change the spacing. All right, cool. And just move it down just a little bit. All right, cool. That looks great. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate that and add. Okay, so yeah, I get dark caramel syrup, blonde shots, and sweet cream foam. Okay, so for our first image, for our first tumbler, that's basically it. We're done. And I'm just going to go over here and grab this image. Well, this background is it's a Canva Pro background. And since I'm a Canva Pro member, I could be able to use it for free. But if you don't have a Canva Pro subscription, I have no idea why, because it's like bomb. But of course, I'll have a link in the description box for you as well, where you go ahead and enjoy a 30-day free trial. So you can go ahead and see what all the hype is about for Canva as well, right? Being able to use their backgrounds, their clip art, their background remover, just a bunch of different tools that they have that make, designing easier. So I'm just scrolling through trying to find the image that I want, and here it is. This could be like, for Black History, a little Black History design or whatever. All right. So like I said, I don't want it to be too big because I don't necessarily want it wrapped around the whole tumbler. I kind of want it to be, like front and center. So just gonna kind of and center like that, and bam. So we've designed our tumblers, and we'll just go ahead and download this as a PNG to our computer, and then we'll just go ahead and print. All right, y'all, we've learned a lot, but bear with me because we're almost done. And if you're enjoying this video, you learned something new, please consider donating $1 via the PayPal link in my description box to help me continue to make great content for you guys here in the laboratory. So once everything is printed out, we're just going to go ahead and trim our paper. You want to get as close to the image as possible without actually cutting the image itself. I can't cut a straight line to save my life, so I just go ahead and use my paper trimmer just to make things a little bit easier on myself. Once everything is cut, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap my image around my tumbler. Nothing fancy, just make sure that it's aligned. And we're just going to use some heat tape to secure it together. And let's just pause for a second and admire how like it's the perfect size, right? I will leave the dimensions and everything in the description box for you guys. But like I said, measure your tumblers because all tumblers are not the same. But I did purchase mine from Heat Transfer Warehouse. Link for that will be in the description box as well. Now, I'm using like these shimmer tumblers that Heat Transfer Warehouse has. The first one was like a white shimmer. This one is like a teal shimmer. I really just wanted to see what the colors, what different colors look like on the teal cup. Because normally I would just do a black design, but I'm just trying to experiment and see, something different. So once all the prep work is done, we're going to go ahead and put it in our mug press. I am using a 10-ounce mug press, so I will have to press this in like 4 sections. My mug press is at 380 degrees, and I'm going to press each section at for 180 seconds. Pay attention to where you place your mug press so that you don't like overheat the same spot twice, because then you can burn the design, which cause overcooking. And when you're moving your mug from one position to another, don't just drag it, like pick it up and turn it, or pick it up and move it, because if you just slide it, you can cause the paper to shift, which will create ghosting and ruin the whole project. I had one of my followers ask me if I think it's wise to get a tumbler or a mug press, and I definitely say yes. Doing it in the mug press, doing tumblers in the mug press is so much easier than my convection oven. But since this is a mug press and not a tumbler press, it did take a little bit longer. So if you can do this in a tumbler press and like save time, I would definitely suggest getting a tumbler press, because look at this. Like, with the convection oven, you need shrink wrap, the oven, and not saying that it can't work, but listen, the mug press is just a whole lot simpler. I don't do enough tumblers to really justify buying a tumbler press, but I highly suggest a tumbler press, you guys. Or, you can make it work in a mug press. As you can see, the color transfers very well, which lets us know we have enough pressure. But it is all still a learning curve. As you can see, this tumbler didn't come out as well. And I'm thinking that's just a user error. Don't believe I placed the tumbler in there correctly, because it's really just the top and the bottom that didn't get any color or whatever. So that's just probably me just not setting in there, setting the tumbler into the mug press. But these colors look great on this teal cup. I'm really surprised. I do love the design, and I'm just added to my little stash of mishaps. But yeah, so you can definitely sublimate a tumbler in a 10-ounce mug press. I highly recommend getting a true tumbler press if this is something that you want to do. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you later.